Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to sit back and talk to you about planning your itinerary. I am about to head out to Laos. And with this process, I've had to sit down and really start planning what I'm going to do as a backpacker going out here. And this includes getting my visas, getting my plan set up, cities that I'm going to go to, hotels I'm going to stay at, all of this stuff. So today I want to talk to you about the quick breakdown of what I go through and things that I make sure I do before I actually head out. So you guys can avoid a lot of these mistakes that a lot of us backpackers and expats make along the way. Now, the first thing you have to do is decide, what is this trip even about? Is it a vacation? Is it to relax? Is it to work? This is very important. One thing that I used to screw up a lot was planning a trip to go relax in the riverside or the beach side of the Mekong River. And when I got there, it turned into me working on my charting. It worked on YouTube creation. It worked on recording videos. And it pretty much destroyed the whole trip because that relaxation I needed, it turned into just being more work. So when I finally got back to my home and had to work, I was already dead. So make sure you understand what your trip is about and stick to that plan. The next one is researching where you go. You need to know about this place. Where do the tourists go? Where do the expats go? Where do the locals go? And most importantly, where do the locals avoid going? In this country that you decide to go to, have a home port. Somewhere you can kind of call home while you're there. So if something does go wrong, if hotel plans get changed, buses or trains get delayed or canceled, you at least know where you could go. Being out in a different country and having all your plans canceled because of some weather condition or something like that, and having no idea where to go and having to restructure your vacation is one of the biggest drawbacks that I've ever experienced traveling abroad. Have a home port. If it's in Vietnam, maybe it's Saigon, Da Nang, or Hanoi. If you're in Thailand, maybe it's Phuket or Bangkok. But pick a hometown that you can call home while you're in this country. So if something goes bad, you can at least go back to that area and you know what you can do there. The next one is when you're coming out here, have your documentation in check. What visas do you need? Do you need to fill any visas out beforehand? Have anything printed that you need to be shown to officials or immigration offices to get into these countries? If you're coming to places like Vietnam or Cambodia, do your e-visa online and have it before you take off. Make sure you know this stuff beforehand. Coming out here, getting to the border, and you use an excuse of "I forgot" will not get you past security for most countries. I've seen so many people in Thailand and Vietnam that get to the border at airports, I've seen this many times, and get told they got to go back. So make sure you have all your documents in check. If you don't know what to do, go to ivisa.com. There's a link below. This is a free option that you can do. Put in your nationality. Put in the country you want to go. It will tell you everything that you need to do beforehand. If you want them to help you with it, just click next. If you want to do it yourself, but at least you know what you need. And the final one is something a lot of people don't think about, but I see so many expats deal with: jet lag. If you are flying across the world to Southeast Asia, you are going to jet lag like 10 to 12 hours. There is a science behind this that deals a lot with sleep. And the idea is for every hour that you change time zones, it takes a full day of sleep, 8 hours, until your body recovers that hour. So if you are 10 to 12 hours of jet lag, expect your first week or so to be a little weird when it comes to your grogginess and whatnot. Now, once you find your destination, where you're going to go, it's time to find tourist spots. Look at these countries and what's cool, what's not, and find your top 3 things to do. Don't try to do everything at once. You will not do it. These countries are big. They look small, but they're big. And there's a lot of stuff to do. So if you're going to go to a country, pick your top 3 things you must do. You have to do these things. And then once you get your top 3 list, create 3 to 5 things below it. Kind of secondary. You don't got to do them. It would be kind of fun. It's not required. But if something primary falls apart or doesn't go through, you at least have something to back up on. And on top of that, if you do your top 3 things, mission complete, you feel happy. If you can get a bonus one in, by all means. But don't try to do everything on your one trip. I see so many expats fluttering, trying to go through all these tours, paying all these fees, rushing through stuff, trying to see everything. And at the end of it all, they don't remember much. They feel tired, they're exhausted, and they're about to go home. And they just don't have anything worth value coming out of the memories that they had here because they were too busy trying to expedite everything. Don't try to see everything. It's not worth it. It's not going to happen. Now, this next one is the hack I was talking about with sleep. Your vacation, if it is going to be 30 days, which is kind of a normal thing, put aside 10% of that. Give yourself like a week of that time. It doesn't have to be commutative, it can be separated times, but accept that you're going to spend probably a week of that time just relaxing, just sleeping, just doing nothing. If you travel abroad on a vacation and you're focused on seeing everything and working and you're going to be tired. You're going to be stressed. You're going to feel miserable after a while. So give yourself 10% of your total trip to consider dead downtime. That you just sit on a beach. You sit on a river and just hang out with the iced tea or a beer. You do nothing. Now, before you get out here, you need to download some apps. You're going to a third world country, maybe, or maybe you're not. But if you are, you're going to be limited on what you're able to access. And a lot of these countries, you can't download certain apps when you get into these countries. So if you need these apps, download them beforehand. My advice for what you should download is Booking.com, Google Maps, some kind of a currency exchange. I personally use Currency Pro. Download a translator app and download the actual language library to your phone before time. Don't let it rely on the internet. And speaking of internet, if you are planning on traveling to remote areas, download Maps.me and download the country maps within that app beforehand. This app doesn't use Wi-Fi. It doesn't use anything but your GPS in your phone. So you can access these maps like Google Maps, but you don't need to be connected to Wi-Fi or internet. You will probably need this more than you think when you start going to remote areas because things like Google aren't going to work anymore. Now, when it comes to the language app side that I just talked about, also consider learning some of the speaking and listening for words that are relative to market speak. Anything about the market will get you very far. How much does it cost? What is this? What does it taste like? Where do I go? How much is it? What does this do? Etc., etc. And then just learn some types of foods and stuff like that. This will get you a long way. And as you use this speaking and listening skill that you learned at home, you'll be able to expand your vocabulary quite easy. Languages like Thai, Vietnamese, and Chinese are not hard languages to learn if you focus on the speaking and listening and you actually go out there and interact with the locals. Reading a grammar book is not going to teach you a language. Don't worry about reading. Don't worry about writing. Nobody cares. Just speak. Just listen. That's all you need. The next one is about your packing. Figure out what the climate's like where you're going. Pack for the climate. If it's going to be super hot, don't pack jackets and sweaters. That makes no sense and it takes up space. You're going to find street vendors everywhere. You could buy a puffy jacket if it gets cold randomly and it'll cost you $5 or $10. You can get a pair of pants out here for $5. You can get a jacket out here for $3 or $4. You can get underwear, undershirts, all that stuff for less than a few dollars. Don't sit there and buy $50, $60 clothes in the West trying to pack them here, paying airport fees to tag it across the world and never wear it. It's a waste of time. You should really be packing at 5 to 10 liters at most. Also, when you're packing, get cubes. Get all this stuff organized, throw it in your bag. You can turn a lot of stuff into a little amount of stuff and not get rid of anything. And when it comes to your wires, if you can get everything into USB-C, your MacBooks, your phones, your charging equipment, your microphones, your lights, anything like that, make sure it's all USB-C. This will change your packing situation a lot. It'll allow you to have all the cables you need, probably just 1 or 2 cables. And you're not carrying around bulky chargers for everything. And finally, have a backup plan. So many things are going to go wrong out here that you won't even expect. It is going to be normal. It's not going to change the world. If your hotel doesn't work out, have another one. If the city that you're going to visit isn't working out, the train gets delayed, the bus gets canceled, the flight gets stopped, whatever happens, know that you have your home port we talked about before that you can go back to and enjoy, or you can relax, or you can at least find something else. Also have money sitting around. This could be on a crypto wallet or an extra credit card that you don't plan on using unless it's emergency. This will help you with medical stuff, random visa requirements that you have to go through, or if you have an emergency flight that you have to take back home or something like that, you have that extra cash. Do not come out here with your final $1,000 on a vacation. I strongly suggest having $1,200 to $1,500 laying around that you don't ever touch. And when it comes to your hotels and stuff like that, if you're going to a remote town, have a few places in mind where you're going to go. Screenshot it on your phone so you can look at them when you get here. So if you come here, get to this hotel and you realize, wow, this is a shithole. This isn't what I was told. You can go to the other one and just show the taxi driver the address. They'll be able to read it and they'll take you there and you can try again. But always have some kind of backup. So this is pretty much the name of the game when it comes to traveling abroad as an expat, is have backup plans and set time aside to relax. And past that, I think that answers all the most common questions I've been asked this past few months when it comes to traveling and the things that I'm actually doing to get ready for our trip to Laos that starts here in a couple days. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I will see you Again,